everyone. We are here with Coach Williams, head coach of women's track and field. Coach, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So talk to us a little bit about your indoor season. You guys have been going strong, it seems, all season. Talk to us about your progress so far.
Progress so far, Texas Tech gave me a good look. We ran there last weekend. And so far, everybody seems to be in the kind of shape that I'd like for them to be in. Dinah Murphy, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, opened up in her first 800, and she ran a personal best indoor at 2:14, which has her leading in the SWAC as far as time. But we all know once you get to the race, it's what happens in the race. And all of my 800-meter runners, based on their performance this weekend, they look pretty strong. My hope is that they're all in the finals at conference in about a week.
Great. Great. So you guys have a lot to look forward to. This weekend you are going to the U of H Invitational.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about what you're going to be running at that Invitational, what events you're going to be participating in.
This is a light meet for us. And when I say light, normally most of my athletes will compete in 3 events. Since we're so close to conference, you don't want any injuries to start, and you don't want any lingering injuries to get worse. So most of my athletes are going to run 1 event just to kind of see where they are. And then I have some athletes that I'm looking to see if they're going to make that trip to conference. So it'll give me a window into will they make the finals or not, because I generally don't take anyone who has the potential, who does not have the potential to make it into the finals at conference. So it's a light meet. It's a good window into where we are before we get on that, start traveling next week.
So thinking about what you're trying to accomplish as a team in terms of a championship run, what are you really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to everybody showing up. Normally when you go into any meet that you go into, it fluctuates. Today you might have a good meet, next week you may not. So it kind of fluctuates. What I'm looking for at conference is that everybody shows up at that time. And if everybody shows up at that time, I think we'll be very successful.
Okay, great. So you guys always have a lot of really great showings in your meets. What are you most excited about? Or who are you most excited about?
I'm excited about Dinah. I'm excited about Helen Roddy. She's doing very well in the 3,000 and the 5,000. I'm excited about our DMR relay. I've never had like pieces to play with, and I'm calling the young ladies pieces, but just puzzles that I can put together where I can use different athletes on that relay. I have a couple of athletes that are struggling. My freshman, Aquacia Nelson, she had some shin issues, now some hamstring issues, and more of it is just how she runs. So she's not running efficiently, so it's affecting her. And then Alexis Cokes, I've decided she's just going to do outdoor because she's just now coming back from a hamstring injury. And looking at how the sprinters are running right now in the conference, if she's not going to make it to the finals, I'd rather not waste her indoor. I'm looking forward to see what Amber Johnson does. She's another freshman. She is transitioning, learning how to get out the blocks and everything else. She has a lot of power and a lot of strength, but just learning how to sprint. People think you just go out and run and that's it. And I'm really excited to see what my pole vaulters and my jumpers do. Keisha Bailey has won the indoor and outdoor track SWAC high jump every year since her freshman year. She only lost at her freshman year indoor. And so I'm looking forward to see what she does. I think she can jump 6 feet. I'm hoping that she does that at conference. And I'm excited to see what the jumpers do, because Coach Butler has brought in some good jumpers. And last year we were able to sweep 1, 2, 3 in the long, 1, 2, 3 I think in the triple. And I'm hoping to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, don't leave any space.
None.
We want it all.
I want it all.
That's a happy
I gotta be selfish.
Nation.
I gotta be selfish. I want it all.
Nation will be so happy about
Oh my gosh, I will too.
It really will be. So track as a college sport's a little bit different. You run cross country in the fall, indoor in the early spring, outdoor in the later part of the spring.
Yeah.
Talk to us
year
a little
round.
bit about what it means to essentially be a year-round athlete.
It's hard. Like, I have to give my distance runners a break because they're doing 5K for about a good month and a half. So when we finish up cross country, I really pull back on the competition. I let their legs get a little bit of rest, and they just go out on some long runs so that their body gets rested and they can come back and kind of do the workouts that'll get them ready to run a 3K and a 5K indoor, which a 5K is 25 laps indoors and a 3K is like 15 laps indoors. So you got to get mentally prepared for that. The other athletes, since it's year round, they start training while cross country is taking place. And so there's an anticipation, okay, I'm tired of training, I'm ready to run. And then it comes and it hits them fast. So they just have to be prepared year round, and their bodies, you can't allow yourself to get out of shape at any period of time. Even in the summer, you just can't allow that because you don't want to come back worse off than you started because you're starting from square one all over again each year.
Now, for those of us who remember talking with you in the fall during cross country, you talked a little bit about ways that you're doing training and the use of technology and other sorts of data that you use to really help the women be able to train and really, for lack of a better phrase, put their best foot forward on the track. So talk to us a little bit about how that's been going now that you implemented these new
Well, they all have a Fitbit, and I have one on as well. And what I get is a picture, a chart. It collects data for me. It lets me know what their resting is, how their sleep patterns are at night, what their resting heart rate is, has it dropped? Because when the more in shape you are, the lower your resting heart rate is. And so also what I've done is on the track after every interval, I'm getting their pulse. So I'm seeing how high their heart rate is going, and once they finish, how low the heart rate is going, and then once they start that next interval, how high that heart rate goes again. So as we do the workouts, it tells me essentially if they're getting in shape or not, because they're recovering better because that rate is not going as high, it's going lower, and they're recovering better. Yeah, so it's charted every day. I have one of my managers constantly, and they have to call out 150 over this and so we're writing it down and putting it in a spreadsheet and everything. So I'm getting some really good information.
Great. I know your players probably appreciate that.
They do, because they see it and they're like, oh, wow, okay. And when they call, because they have to call it out, and they're like, oh my God. So some that are like 176 over 98 in the beginning, and they see maybe a month in or 6 weeks in, they're at 150 at their max over 88. They're like, okay, that means I'm getting in shape. And yes, it does. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So today we have National Signing Day.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about some of the young women that you've been looking at to recruit and who you have coming in.
Well, the ones that have already signed are the ones that I'll speak on today. Naomi Davis, she is at Sidewoods High School. She is a cross-country athlete, 3K. She's a UIL regional qualifier, state qualifier, excellent student. She is a the presidential scholarship recipient. So she's done excellent as a student, and she's going to bring to my distance program. She's definitely going to help my distance program a lot. Raven House is a 400 meter hurdler out of Bush High School in Fort Bend, and she's going to bring, because I'm losing all of my 400 meter hurdlers. Dianca Bookman graduated last year, and Alana Williams is my only 400 meter hurdler for this year, and she's a senior. So Raven coming in as my next 400 meter hurdler will not leave that gap in that event for me. And then I have Abriana Asante coming out of Delaware, and Abriana hasn't signed. Fast forward, I have Mia Hurd, who is a triple jumper, and actually her school just won the indoor state championship. She's a 7-time state champion in the long and triple, and she's going to bring to that jump program that Coach Butler's put together so well to continue that tradition. So right now I have pieces in 3 different events, and I have others that I'm waiting to sign in other events to add volume to the program.
Great. Yeah. Now, one of the things we talked with you about during cross-country season is how well they do on and off the track.
Yes.
And that seems to be really important to you.
Oh, it's extremely important because track is a sport where your degree is your pro status. You know, it's very, very hard to be a pro track and field athlete. And pro meaning somebody gives you a contract, Nike, Adidas, Saucony, whomever, and you're able to acquire an agent to get over to Europe. You're running well enough where you're going to make some of these teams. A lot of the USA professional athletes are going to be here for the Prairie View Relays. I think we're going to have about 80 of them, and not just American athletes, but Chinese athletes, Caribbean athletes that are going to be here competing. And what I like to do is have my athletes kind of interact and find out, how does this occur? And it's very, very difficult because if you're not running well for an agent to get you over to Europe, then you're really not a pro athlete. You're someone that's trying to become one. So the academic piece for me is so incredibly important because I want to see these young ladies succeed beyond the sport. And right now they have been. And I'm very, very proud of the ones that really take stock in their future, because I have mine. Mm-hmm. And I want them to have theirs. And so I'm not like someone that's hovering over them. I let them know what the expectations are, and they need to rise to that occasion because it's their life. Right. I have them for 4 years, if that long. And after that, hopefully they've learned all the life lessons here in college, because that's what it's about, to be able to be successful and maneuver through society once they're done.
So as we close out, talk to us a little bit about that PV relay. I know it's something that PV Nation really looks forward to.
Yes.
I went to my first one last year, and it was awesome. So talk to us a little bit about that.
This one, and I should get the names of a lot of the athletes that are going to be coming, but I know that, and I'm so happy. I talked to the timing system person that runs the meet today, and one of the SWAC schools has already committed. Alcorn State has already started putting the entries in. TSU men and women will be here. Incarnate Word will be here. I know U of H will be here. So some of the colleges are now coming back. In addition to the high school athletes that are going to be here, we had over 1,000 athletes competing last year. Now it's a 2-day meet. So that Friday evening, we're going to run the 5,000 meters and get that out the way. We're doing the javelin and I think the hammer throw. And then on Saturday, the first part is all the prelims. And then the afternoon are the finals. We are going to acknowledge our seniors, men and women track, during the intermission at PV Relays. And it is really turning out to be one of the premier meets that is held in the United States in the early spring. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. There's a concert that's supposed to take place Thursday evening before, and that's looking like it's lining up to be a really exceptional event. So I think that in everything that happens on a college campus, it should be an event where everybody can participate in it, not just the athletes. And students can come out and see their friends compete. Parents can come out and see their athletes compete. And I'm looking forward to the stands just being overfilled with people.
Excellent. Well, we are really excited about your season so far, and we look forward to seeing PV Relays later on this time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. You too.